Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no. Debate your greatness and flair and let them enjoy the show. I'm always...
Good evening, welcome to the Flair Debate Show this evening. It's a September show and I'm here with our great judges, our lovely judges. I'll start with Clencha, Katie and Jasmine. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you guys doing?
Pleasure to be here again.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Today's topic is there are no bad children, only bad parents, question mark. So, we're going to have the guest judges judge, critique and put their own spin on what they believe the topic's all about, how they envisage the whole debate panning out. So, I'm going to start with Clencha. Clencha, welcome back again.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for agreeing to do the show again once more.
So good.
What's your opinion about this topic and how do you envisage it being sort of played out?
Very strong topic again, as per usual. The topics that you guys always address are very strong. But this one is particularly close to the heart, because obviously we've all been children, haven't we? We've all had experience of parents and parenthood. Not parenthood as in me being a parent, but obviously how your parents raise you. So speaking on my behalf, sorry.
Welcome to the Flair Debate Show. My name's Isaac and I'm here with one of the debating teams and they're going to be arguing for there are no bad children, only bad parents. Right, so Femi, welcome. Victor, welcome. Alex, welcome. Why have you guys decided to go for?
Well, to an extent, I think it's probably the strongest position in this particular debate, especially with the way that European society as a whole, and society in developed countries, is changing with a view to trying to manage social problems and issues like social discipline in a way that probably doesn't reflect what's most effective.
Okay.
I think with regard to how people work and how people think, especially how young people grow and develop.
Okay. Welcome to the Flair Debate Show. My name's Isaac and I'm here with the opposing team. Welcome guys. Sammy, Darren. Right, unfortunately you guys are missing a person. That shouldn't be a problem, should it?
No.
Excellent. So Sammy, let's start with you. Why against?
Because I think the motion kind of speaks for itself. If you say that there are only bad parents and no bad children, then that kind of alleviates the responsibility of the child and other influences such as social influences, biological influences outside of just the family home. If you look at, for example, a child who was brought up in a Christian household and for some reason becomes atheist, or a child who was brought up in a Muslim household and for some reason becomes Christian, that kind of shows that it's not just your parents that has an influence on you. You actually leave the house. You don't just live at home and kind of have that structure and that's all you kind of grow up with. So there are other influences, and that's common sense for me. So there was no argument that had to be against.
Okay, it's a very powerful topic. It's someone was saying that, well, in terms of how it's laid out, someone's saying that actually children are not bad at all. Parents don't have any sort of influence on that. What's your take on that particular aspect of it?
You know what? To be honest with you, we've all been children. We've all been children. We've all had to grow up. So everybody has had their own experience with their parents and how their parents have raised them. All I can do is speak on my own and say that I had terrific parents, who were really, really strict on me, and I thank God, that they were strict on me, because there's a lot of negative influence out there in the big bad world, so to speak. So they kept me on the straight and narrow. So hopefully today we're going to hear, some really powerful points from both sides, that are both bringing forward their points to say, well, hey, we disagree.
So, in your opinion, having understood the concept, the Flair debate concept, what is your opinion of the whole concept, and how do you believe the strength of your argument will see its way through using this concept?
I think debates do benefit a lot more from being free in expression. The type of debate that I often do is very rigid in its structure and it's competitive. It's more about winning. It's oftentimes you could not make intuitive sense but still win a debate because you sort of covered all the areas.
Indeed.
I think debates are more important in terms of getting as much as ideas out there as possible, rather than just bickering on a few particular points. Which is why I think, especially this format where you have young artists speaking their minds, speaking their feelings about things, which is also very important. I think very a powerful message rather than just being very technical about it. So I think it's a very good format. I like the way, and I think it's more engaging to many people, because if you look at role models, are usually people who tell messages that people relate to.
Sure.
Rather than standing up, looking all serious in a suit, and saying we think that this is socially in corporation and things like that.
No,
so I think that messages often become lost in too much technical speak.
Absolutely. No, thank you. That was very well put. Right, Salman, welcome to the show. Like I said, the Flair Debate Show. What's your opinion, or what's your idea on the show itself?
I think it's pretty good, really. That people who have basically nothing to do at home. No, sorry. I mean, it's good that people come down and debate about a topic. Because generally, I don't know, where did you do that? Where was the last time you debated before?
I debate every day.
Yeah, because I think rather than putting silly statuses on Facebook with limited vocabulary, I think it's better to come down, sit down, talk. And I think today's topic is very good.
Thank you.
So I'm happy. But am I debating as well?
No, you're not. You're just going to be, making our audience laugh.
Just because I'm on a visa, or do you have to be British for this?
If you're on a visa, that's a different show entirely.
Yeah, but I'm happy. I think this is different, and I haven't been to a live show with debating. I've seen that on TV many times, but I'm quite looking forward to it. Yeah.
Excellent. In terms of your sort of comedy strips and what you're going to be doing, what is our audience going to be looking forward to?
I think today is going to be really cultural. I think because I'm still a new stand-up comic, presenter turned into comic, I'm going to be talking about my experiences, because as you can say by my English, I'm still fresh, which is how I am, and so my experiences in this country and how I wanted to grind someone. Okay. I don't know, and it's not very X-rated though, but it's about how a simple Pakistani boy wants to be, hip, like innate blood.
Okay, cool. So, you're going to be doing the Flair round for us today. Now, the Flair round, historically, is a round that is supposed to really make the show what it really is. Thus far, we haven't really had anyone hit that note, if you know what I mean. For want of a better word, excuse the pun. So, what are our audience going to expect from you today?
Lyrics.
Yes.
Wordplay.
Yeah.
Metaphor, simile. Creativity. A bit of audience engagement.
Okay. Well, I'm obviously you're just giving us a cliffhanger there, so you're not going to give us any much more, no? Just that.
Depends what you want.
We were talking earlier, and I really don't envy the team. It's a tough one. I mean, you could write a PhD on it, and I'm sure people have. It's so many angles that you can take. I mean, obviously, being a mother to a really young boy, and I work with children daily, and I think that one thing I tend to carry with me is that good and bad, it kind of throws into question the duality of good, bad.
Indeed.
And bad actions, bad choices, bad behaviour doesn't necessarily equal a bad child and labelling the person. And I think that goes for parents as well. So it's, I don't know, there's a Plato quote that kind of springs into my mind of be kind, everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. And parents, it's not easy to be a parent, and being a parent you kind of get a different stance and a different kind of empathy with what your parents have gone through raising you. So I think it's tough, and it depends, what do you consider bad, good, is it the intention, is it the outcome?
Alright, obviously the other team, they're looking very strong. I've just interviewed them. They're three-man strong, excuse the expression. Do you guys feel that you've got enough in the armoury to really put forward the best case? Bearing in mind this is a competition, and there is a prize at the end of it. And if you don't know what the prize is, it's a meal, Box Park, Thai Lao, one of our sponsors. So, what I'm going to ask is, what's happening?
Well, it is what it is at the end of the day. We've got two, and we're going to go out there fighting. We're going to go out there doing our thing.
Yeah.
Not letting that distract us from what we do. The job is done in a sense. It's just for us now to communicate what we've got. Cool. And if we can communicate that clearly, strongly, then we've done what we need.
And I still think that with the two people we had introduction, which is my part, and then you have that top, which is the Flair debate. Our argument is actually is conveyed by those two parts. The summary is just summarising what both of us have. So I don't think it's a big advantage that they have a third person. Okay. And I'm very confident that we can portray.
Wow, she's very confident. Bearing in mind the summary round, that summary round has to be delivered in such a dramatic way. Yeah. If you are sort of falling behind, be it in points or be it in the audience in terms of favoritism, you kind of need to. That's connected to the last one. Mm-hmm. Factually, one of the teams won it during the summary round. So I don't know. I mean, have you got something in line for us? Something that's secret?
I can't really give it away now.
No, you can't. Okay, cool. I was plugging away, but it wasn't happening. Jasmine, welcome again.
Thank you.
And thank you for agreeing to be a guest judge. Very, very honoured. What's your take on the topic itself? How do you envisage it being played out?
I find it difficult to believe that any babies are born bad. Right. I think all children are innocent and they are all born with the same basic genetics. I think it really depends on the way they're brought up. Someone told me something when I was younger, and it stuck with me, and I really believe in it. And the phrase is, if someone is being a pain, they're carrying pain. So if young children or adults are a pain in the arse, they're carrying pain that's come from somewhere. You know, sometimes it's not that their parents are not strict. A lot of people get it twisted and think it's just because parents have to be strict to raise great children. It's not to do with that. It could be attention, it could be lack of attention, it could be role models, it could be standards, it could be empowering a child to be great. If you tell a child that their expectations in life are great and they can do whatever they want to do, they'll probably hold those things true, and even if their surrounding social circle is negative or going down a bad path, they'll probably keep their values true. So for me, I was brought up in Harlesden, Southall, and I was surrounded by crazy hood antics, as I like to call them. And yes, I did run with the bad kids, but I also ran with the good kids. So at school, I was with the bad kids, and at the weekend, I went to a part-time ballet school up the road from me. So I saw how both sides of life worked, and I could see from an early age that I wanted what the good kids at ballet school had, not where I could see all the other kids going. So I was able to go, that's what I want, and that's what I aspire to. And of course, I could hear my mum nagging in the background going, you won't come home pregnant, you come home with a child and I'll throw you out, and this will happen and that will happen. So I think it's a healthy mixture of your parents nagging and instilling values and a bit of this, that and the rest, but you also having aspirations for your children.
Femi, welcome. You are our Flair debater today. Right, so in the last few months, we've had like 3 shows thus far. The Flair round, in my opinion, hasn't been as strong as it really should be, considering, I would say, artists in general, what they really do is debating their feelings through song, rap or poetry. So, how do you propose your performance will sort of, how do you reckon the audience will perceive your performance? Will they see it as actually he's really hitting the nail on the head there? Or are you a bit nervous at the concept itself and trying to deliver what you have to do?
I feel like it's just my performance in general was just my insight into like what I think. Obviously, if people don't agree with me,
no, that's fine. Absolutely, that's the whole point, isn't it? Really,
I think it's just me and a lot of the things that I've seen and a lot of like people that I know. In like, say someone that's a bad kid, like where do you define a bad kid? Who's a bad kid? Who says what's bad, what's good? You know what I mean? It's just also the reasons as to why what kid is bad, like why has he turned out bad? What's the what's promoted him to become a bad person?
Sure.
As a parent, I feel parents are responsible for a child's development. And if your child is developed negatively, then you have to think that maybe you've exposed them to some negative elements in the upbringing. Also, there's other things like external influences, like say friends that might take them along the wrong path. But like ultimately, I think that parents do have like a big effect in it.
No, definitely,
on,
of course,
on
absolutely.
a child's outcome.
And you know, on the face of it, I would definitely agree. But obviously, I know the other team are going to come with a very powerful, a rebuttal, and I'm hoping they do, because it will make for a really good debate. So your Flair round, I'm assuming you're going to be rapping?
Spoken word piece.
Spoken word piece, excellent. Are you ready to put your thoughts out there to this audience?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Definitely are, yeah? Cool, that's good. I mean, guys, I want to thank you for coming along. I want to thank you for being involved. This is going to be a really good show. And you guys have to stay tuned. So welcome to the Flair Debate Show, and it's your debating team arguing for there are no bad children, only bad parents. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys.
Heat like Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no. Debate your greatness and flair and let them enjoy the show. I'm always the first to step away when it's on or when it goes down. When it goes down. Even though I have it in me to change my life from